Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. This might be my favorite video that I'm doing the introduction for, because today, oh man, it's been 3 years of waiting and working and trials and tribulation and 3 years, but framing day has finally started. The guys are due to be over here at about 7 o'clock. It is 10 till. I'm on dad duty this morning, so unfortunately I had to drag the girls out of bed with me. They are passed out in their car seats, thankfully. Made a quick stop to Dunkin' Donuts to get them a donut for, you know, getting out of bed so early. But basically just wanted to come over here, meet the framing crew that's going to be doing the work on the house. And I've actually known these guys for quite some time now. They are one of the framing crews that we share a few builders with. So they're great guys. They're a great, great team to kind of work next to. And I was going back and forth on the way I wanted to do this. I know I was really anxious on trying to help everybody and learn when I can. And these guys have a system. And I think for the importance of this particular step, I think it's more important that I kind of set aside my pride and let them do their work. Now, our agreement that we have is that they are going to frame the exterior and the structural interior walls. Any load-bearing walls, they're going to frame that stuff so that they can get it under roof and watertight. If I tried framing this house on my own, even with the help of a couple friends on the weekends, I don't think I would be able to do it in a timely manner. I think I would be risking the integrity of the lumber, just having it set out, through the rain and snow and freeze and thaw. So these guys are going to come in, they're going to bang out the exterior structural walls and the roof and get it watertight in the next 3 to 4 weeks. That's what they're shooting for. And then I'll be able to go through and frame in all of the non-essential walls, such as the closet walls, any room divider walls that aren't load bearing. So I will have my time to do some framing. I've been looking forward to this since I was a little kid. I always wanted to build my house, but reality is what it is. And just trying to balance everything that we have going on, this was one of those things where I needed to take a step back and say, we need to do it this way so that it can be as good as possible for our family to live in for the rest of our lives. So the girls are sleeping in the back seat. I just got here. I don't see anybody yet, so we'll just hang out, wait for these guys to get here. I'll show them where the generator is, if they need to move anything around, get the camera set up. And I do have to boogie on home. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of the time today, tomorrow, and then this weekend wrapping stuff up at our current house, getting everything packed up and getting ready to go through each room and do touch-ups before we put it on the market. So everything is starting to come together. So I'm so excited for this. So yeah, enjoy the time lapse and a little bit of narration. All right, so the guys just showed up and they don't mess around. They backed their trailer in, got their tools out, started taking measurements, calling out numbers. They're scraping off the frost wall there to get the sill seal down, and then the womanized plate. So they're gonna start hammering out. Enjoy the time lapse. Alright guys, so day one of framing is wrapped up and in the books. Sorry, climbing up on top of this dirt pile. If you guys noticed, number one, I wasn't here. Chester did say I was allowed to help, which was cool, but wasn't able to be here today. But they started the day off by putting the sill seal down in between the bottom plate, which is a womanized 2x6 on these exterior walls. It's a piece of foam that goes in between that piece of womanized wood and the top of the concrete wall to create a nice seal so that you don't get water and bugs going underneath your wall. They wrapped everything, including the top of the foundation wall up here, and then they built the walls, put the plywood on, cut the windows out, and got some floor the LVL beams up. Let's run inside here to start the flooring system. Now tomorrow when they get here, they'll be able to start running these floor joists this way and hammering out the first floor deck so that they can start building the walls up top. So these walls are being framed at 16 on centers. We have some studded support beams. I'm not really sure what that's actually called, but basically when we have something like this LVL beam, that weight needs to be supported the whole way down. So as you can see above what will be a window, they have, as wide as that beam's going to be, they have all these blockings done up. Then that way that transfers that weight down pretty evenly. This particular one, we have more LVL beams supporting the load across the top of this window. Those get transferred down to the studs on the sides. So yeah, everything's looking good. Day one is in the books. All right guys, so day two of framing. Little surprise last night, but we got some snow. Apparently there's a winter weather advisory in effect right now, but looks like these snow squalls, as they were calling them, they're going to be out here in about an hour or so. So I believe Chester and the guys are still on their way over. I'm just going to kind of hang out until they get here. I feel like absolute garbage. I don't know what happened, but I woke up this morning just feeling like a train hit me. So I was going to just touch base with them, see if they still planned on working. Not really sure how they go about handling weather like this, especially when they're putting like decking on, so they don't have really like a good solid sturdy place to stand while they're, you know, elevated. So I wanted to ask them about that, and then if they are going to be working, obviously get the time-lapse camera set up and then go home and get some rest, because holy cow, this is not all right. I don't like feeling like this. So see you guys momentarily. Alright everybody, So one of the challenges with building a house in the winter is dealing with the snow. Now, dealing with precipitation in general is already a little bit tough, but dealing with the snow, it just kind of complicates everything a little bit more. It's a little bit more uncomfortable to work in. It makes it a little bit harder to see because, as you guys can see, and you know, it's pretty much common sense, but snow covers stuff as opposed to rain that just makes it wet. So one of the things that you can do if you're building in the wintertime is making sure the deck stays clear. So like as you guys can see, the first floor decking that's on is covered in snow. Luckily you know, the last few days have been well below freezing. We're talking teens, single digits, so nothing has started to melt yet. And the reason why that is important is because we don't have any ice buildup. If we got a couple warmer days where it started to melt, but it didn't melt all the way, now you get the snow melting, soaking into your plywood. You know, the plywood is pretty heavy duty. You know, wood companies know houses aren't being framed in a day. So, you know, they are protected to an extent. You don't really want to go longer than 3 months, you know, with your plywood getting wet, but the more you can do to help protect it is always beneficial. So right now I'm just going to kind of shovel off all the snow, and even though it is snowing right now, it'll make it a little bit easier to shovel off again, or even leaf blow off before tomorrow morning when the guys are back here framing. So I'm going to go ahead, set my camera up on time lapse, and start shoveling our first floor. All right, everybody, so there it is. Obviously there's still a little bit of a dusting, and I did switch from using my shovel to a nice big piece of 4x8 2-inch foam. I had to still do a little bit of shoveling, just that's a lot of weight for that foam to try to push. Plus the decking here is a little bit slippery, so oh no, I think that went a lot faster than I was anticipating, which is always nice. Now it is snowing, I understand that. So later this afternoon, I believe the snow's out of here in about an hour or so. So later this afternoon, later this evening, I'll come over with my cordless leaf blower and I'll try blowing everything off, and that should be good. There's a little bit of ice buildup around the edges, so I can just chip that off with a shovel. And you know, as long as these guys are willing to be here tomorrow, if they are, they should be ready to start banging out this side of the first floor walls. Now we still need to get the docks plank in. That's scheduled beginning of next week to be installed, so these guys can frame everything to probably about here, if that's even possible. All right, so I just got over here, day 3 of framing, just about 7 o'clock, and as you can see, it's still pretty dark out. So those guys should be here any minute. The thing about Pennsylvania that makes this a little bit more difficult is because the weather is so sporadic. As of yesterday, we were supposed to be done with the snow for the next week or so. They had no snow on the schedule. There was nothing on the radar. Wouldn't you know it, woke up this morning and we have snow for at least the next hour. So thanks, Pennsylvania. But I came over here, I wanted to leaf blow the first floor deck off again, just to try to keep that as clean as possible for these guys. Get my camera set up, and then I need to run some errands, and Rachel and I have been trying to hammer out the whole moving process. We're clearing out of our house so that I can go through and fix everything up so we can get that listed. So that is going to be my day. Enjoy the time lapse of these guys framing. All right, everybody. So the way this is working, my schedule hasn't really allowed for me to be here. Rachel and I have been very busy trying to pack our house up so that we can get it listed and get it on the market for sale. So I really haven't been able to be here to, one, help and learn from these guys, and two, move the cameras around. So the time-lapse camera in the one position that you guys have been seeing is the best that I'm able to do to kind of capture and document these guys banging this house out. And boy, are they doing an awesome job. I wasn't able to get over here this morning and get that set up. Just busy with the girls, dentist appointment, and then just continuing to pack the house up. But today they were able to start on the second floor joists, get a couple LVL beams in right there, and then another one over there on top of that little bump out. And then I guess they had a crane truck here at some point in time to set this big massive metal beam. I mean, everything is going so smooth. One little hiccup, one little setback and delay is that because of the weather, the temperatures, our docks plank have gotten delayed. I'm very hopeful that by the time this video comes out, they are either in or we are a day away from them being put in, because as of right now, it is Friday. They are scheduled to be here beginning to middle of next week. So next week I'll be over here to get all the snow off that little ledge, and then make sure everything's ground down nice and flat, make sure there's no ice, so that whenever Al with Specialty Precast comes over to set them, he can come in, set them, weld them together, and then these guys can frame the rest of the garage and keep going and get this first floor all finished and knock out the second floor. But I am so unbelievably happy to see all this progress happening, and I'm actually learning quite a bit. One little tidbit that I didn't know is about the fire protection in the basement. I'll take you guys down there and show you that real quick. So like I've said a few times, well, before I get to the basement, obviously, but like I've said a few times, the garage is getting docks plank. The porch, however, is getting metal decking. If you're not familiar with what that is, this is metal decking. It is 18 gauge galvanized ribbed decking. It'll span, I believe, up to an 8-foot distance before you need any sort of beams or anything. So that gives us coverage and support for our concrete porch here while retaining our space, our storage space below the porch. And then it's also going to set us up for, we'll realistically have a step up onto the porch and then a step into the house. And I really do like that. Just snow protection. We do get some pretty crazy snowstorms here that blow up against the door, so that gives us a little bit of buffer room between the porch and the front door, so when you open your door you don't have a bunch of snow blown in. So down to the basement, I'll show you what I learned. Okay, so one thing that I did know is that in between an attached garage and living space, you need a fire barrier. So between the wall here and the ceiling up top, it is code that we need to use 5/8 drywall. That is your fire protection. It's a fire barrier. I did not know that you needed fire protection from the basement to the first floor. So I'm not really sure how it translates. It was explained to me, just my information retention is, you know, I'm taking in a lot of new information throughout this process. But basically we went with I-joists, engineered I-joists. So there's a sheet of plywood in between these two 2x4s, and they're engineered to be perfectly straight. They're extremely strong, and as you can see, there's a silver coating. So what that is a piece of insulation board, and it's basically just sandwiched between the two sides, and that is your fire protection. Now I will re-ask, because I am curious myself as to why the plywood in between those two pieces of insulation board need to be there, but nothing around that 2x4. So a little bit of information I learned that I can pass on to you guys, and hopefully help alleviate any future headaches for you. Oh man, do I love that view. This is awesome. I'm so excited. But that's gonna do it, guys. I know the video wasn't our typical video where I'm able to be here and give information when I get information, and just kind of show you guys up close in person. But I do really hope you enjoyed the time lapse, because I know I did. And then I also did really enjoy showing up here every day, you know, in the evening, kind of like I am now after moving a bunch of stuff, and just seeing progress, and just so unbelievably excited to see this project finally come together. It's been a very long time coming, and I'm just thrilled. So I'm really excited that I get to share this journey with you guys, and that you guys have been so unbelievably positive about this. All of the comments and everything that I get on each of these videos have been overwhelming, and I just can't thank you guys enough. And really, I can't thank my wife enough. She's been such a trooper about all this. So Rachel, thank you for entertaining and indulging this crazy idea of mine. She's awesome, everybody. But that's gonna do it. So again, I know I say it, but from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing with the liking and subscribing and sharing. I get reports every week, and just the number of shares have been going up like crazy. So thank you guys for sharing these videos, and just trying to help this channel grow, because we're already past the expectation that I had. So everything from here on out is just a huge giant bonus, and I really have you guys to thank. So thank you guys for the continued support. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned, because there's going to be some more exciting videos coming up. So maybe we'll get a little bit of free time to get up to the gun range when these sub-zero temperatures finally leave, but you know, we have the rest of our lives, because the shooting range will be in my backyard before I know it. So thank you guys, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.